Okay, this is for Algebra 2, and this is factoring day 2. Yesterday we looked at either 2 terms or maybe 4 terms, and we found their greatest common factor. We saw what we could pull out. Today we're going to be looking at trinomials, which means there's 3 terms. We're going to look at trinomials that does not have a coefficient in front of x squared. There's not a number with the x squared. You still want to remember what we did yesterday, and the first thing you want to do is to look for the greatest common factor. This would be the biggest number that they would all divide by, and it would be a variable if it's in all terms. It has to be in all 3 terms though. If that happens, you use the smallest exponent that it ever has. Okay, so let's say that that doesn't exist. You can't do anything like that, and there is no coefficient for the x squared term. If that's the case, then you're going to find the factors of the constant, which is generally the number at the end. Now, there are some sign rules. You look at the second sign first, and if it's a plus, it means that your factors are going to have the same sign. If it's a minus, it means that they're going to have a different sign. Then you look at the first sign of the problem. If they're the same, it tells you what they're going to be. If they're different, it tells you what the biggest one is. Okay, so like for example down here, we have a minus for the second. That tells me they're different. And we have a plus for the first. It tells me the biggest one is positive. Okay. I really recommend that you memorize this rule. It will make life much easier. I will make a note of the overall sign rules that you can look at, but you're not always going to have that available to look at. So it's best for you to look and memorize this part right here. So once you have all of your factors listed and the signs like they're supposed to be, you choose the factors that equal the coefficient of the x term, which is in the middle of your problem. And then you're ready to write your answer, 2 sets of parentheses. So the possible ways that you could have your signs is you could have a plus plus, you could have a minus plus, you could have a minus minus, you could have a plus minus. This is your second sign. Remember, if it's a plus, they're going to be the same. Okay? So plus plus means that both factors are positive. Minus plus means that both factors are negative. Minus minus means that the big factor is negative, and plus minus means that the big factor is positive. Okay? That's a summary of it, but it's a lot faster in the long run to just memorize the rule. So, always look for your greatest common factor and then start factoring. Here's an example of one. We had x squared plus x minus 6. All right, we looked at this sign first, and that told me that the signs are going to be the same or different. This is different because it was negative. And so then the second thing I do is look at the front sign, and it's plus, so the biggest one is going to be negative. So what you're going to find the factors, though, are of the number at the end. So I would come over here, I'd find the factors of 6, 1 and 6, 2 and 3. You don't have to write this down, you can just be looking at it. We established that the signs are different and that the largest one is positive. Notice that I wrote my small factors on the left, my big factors on the right. Largest is positive, so that's going to be a positive, that's going to be a positive. If they're different, that means your small one better be negative. Then you're going to go and you're going to say, well, negative 1 plus 6 is 5. Negative 2 plus 3 is 1. I need the one that equals the coefficient for x. If there's not a number in front of it, that's like a 1. So these are the factors I'm using, and you just put them in parentheses to make your answer. X minus 2 and x plus 3 would be your answer there. Okay, so looking at number 1. You start by finding the factors of the number at the end. Actually, you start by saying, do they all have anything in common? There's nothing in front of the x squared, so no. Find the factors of the number at the end, which is 12. 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. As soon as you get to numbers that touch each other, you know you found them all. All right, look at the second sign first. It's a plus, so that tells me that they are the same. Then look at the first sign, and that tells me that they are both going to be positive. Now, if it helps you to put a plus with them, that's fine. If just no sign means positive, that works for me too. I need the ones that equal 8. 1 and 12 is 13, 2 and 6 is 8, 3 and 4 is 7. So 2 and 6 are the good ones, and they're going to have a plus with them. So x plus 2 and x plus 6. Very important that you get very comfortable doing this because we will use it the rest of the year. Number 2, you're going to find the factors of 6 because it's the number at the end. 1 and 6, 2 and 3. Signs are going to be the same, and they are both going to be positive. I need them to equal 7. 1 and 6 equals 7, so a plus 1, and a plus 6 is my answer. Going to the back, looking at number 3, you're going to find the factors of 12, 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Signs are the same, and they are all positive. They need to equal 7. 1 and 12 is 13, 2 and 6 is 8, 3 and 4 equals 7. X plus 3 because it was positive, x plus 4 because it was also positive. That's your answer. Number 4, we're going to find the factors of 72, 1 and 72, 2 and 36. If you're not sure, just go 72 divided by 1, 72 divided by 2, 72 divided by 3. 3 will go into 72 24 times. 4 will go into 72 18 times. 5 won't. 6 will go into 72 12 times. 7 won't. 8 will go into it 9 times. So then you look at your signs. They're going to be different this time. And so your big one is positive. So all of these big ones are positive, which makes all the small ones negative. They're going to be different. One has to be positive, one has to be negative. I need it to equal 1, and so it's going to be negative 8 and 9. So my answer is x minus 8 and x plus 9. Looking at number 5. Okay, the thing that catches my attention is there's a number at the beginning. When that happens, look and see if you can pull it out. All 3 of these will divide by 5. So you pull a 5 out, and then it leaves you b squared plus 12b plus 11. And you're not going to do anything with that 5. You will trail it down and include it as part of your answer, but you don't actually have to do anything. So looking at what's in the parentheses, we're going to find the factors of the number at the end, which would be 11. Factors of 11 are 1 and 11, and that's it. Signs are the same. They're all positive. They got to equal 12. So bring your 5 down and just write it, and then it becomes b plus 1 and b plus 11. That is your answer. All right, looking at the next one, you're going to find the factors of 72. We've actually already done this, so you could look up there and just copy them down. 1 and 72, 2 and 36, 3 and 24, 4 and 18, 6 and 12, 8 and 9. Signs are the same this time, and they're all negative. So you got to come down here and make all of your signs negative. And they equal negative 18. So negative 6 and negative 12 is negative 18. So y minus 6 and y minus 12 will be your answer. Number 7, we're going to find the factors of 56. 1 and 56, it's even, so 2 and 28. 3 won't, 4 and 14. 5 won't, 6 won't, 7 and 8. Signs are the same and they're all negative. And they need to equal 15. Negative 7 and negative 8 would be negative 15. So a minus 7 and a minus 8 would be your answer. All of these will divide by 2, so I start by pulling that out. It leaves me y squared plus 13y plus 12. Factors of 12 are 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Signs are the same. They're all positive. It needs to equal 13, so we're talking 1 and 12. Bring down your 2, and then y plus 1 and y plus 12. Looking at number 9, they all divide by 2, so we pull a 2 out. Gives me x squared plus 4x minus 5. Find the factors of 5, 1 and 5. Signs are different. Largest is positive, so the small one must be negative, and they have to equal 4. Bring your 2 down, x minus 1, x plus 5. Number 10, find the factors of 6. 1 and 6, 2 and 3. Signs are the same. They're all going to be negative, and they have to equal negative 5. So negative 2 and negative 3. X minus 2, x minus 3, and that's your answer. So remember that the first thing you're going to do every time is see if they have a greatest common factor that you can pull out. This takes you to your assignment. If you have any questions, call me over.